Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo. Today's guest is our 2017 NPC Men's Bodybuilding Overall Champion and new IFBB Pro, Chris Didomenico. Welcome.
Thanks, Dave. It's good to be here.
Yeah, you know, I didn't get to see you up on stage, get that overall trophy handed to you because I got kicked out of the show, as you know, but we did get to interview you before you got up on stage, and I predicted that you'd be winning that overall. You looked terrific at prejudging, and this was a long time in the coming for you. Was it vindication for you? Was it validation for you? Was it a diploma from college, so to speak? What did the Nationals win mean to you?
It was 100% a vindication because I've been competing about over 10 years, and but 2 years ago I won the NPC Pittsburgh and I won Junior USA's, and then after that, obviously it was to do a top national show, and I did North Americans last year, and I looked my best ever at North Americans, but I tied for 5th and I got 6th, and I wasn't happy with my placing. I don't feel I deserved it at all, but I kept my mouth shut about it, but it definitely pissed me off, and this was total vindication for last year's loss.
After coming off, and look, it's happened to a lot of us, myself included, maybe more times than I care to really remember, but when you come off a loss like that where you don't even place top 5 and you're good enough to be up there and everyone else is telling you, man, you got screwed, how do you come back mentally from that and make it better the next time out? Because a lot of guys let it eat them up, and they go downhill or they don't compete anymore. How did you kind of suck that up?
Well, to be honest with you, every show I've ever won, I lost at first, dating back to college. Like even whenever I won to Pittsburgh, I lost it the year before. So, it's so cliche, but I kind of run off revenge, and I hate to say the word hate, but hate. It's a hell of a motivator to come back and, get what's yours. But honestly, I love the sport. Bodybuilding is my life, and I'm never going to stop. And I've been following the sport since 10 years ago, whenever it was much different. And I looked up to guys like Jay Cutler, and I always watched his videos, and he would talk about how he'd lost, and then he always came back stronger. So it really didn't stop me at all. If anything, it gave me more momentum, I'd say, than anything.
Mm-hmm. When you put everything you got into a sport. And you said, look, we know what bodybuilders do. We sacrifice a lot. Family time. We're always worried about eating in the gym, and on holidays we're worried about where we're going to get our next meal. And sometimes your family gets fed up with it. When you don't place well at a show like that, did you have people coming up to you and saying, yeah, maybe you're wasting your time here?
Well, the thing is like I said, I've been doing it for over 10 years, and my family is actually very supportive. In the early years, it was kind of so new and foreign to anybody. I have an Italian family, and they live to eat and drink.
I know that.
But bodybuilding was so foreign, but then like I had success in it, and they supported it, and they've always supported it. Right. Even doing shows out of state, and the saddest thing is like something like a national show. If you don't make top 5, you don't even get to go on stage. So I had my whole family buy tickets, spend all this money for tickets. They come down to the venue, and then they don't even see me, and they don't you don't find out that you're not going to be on stage until the night show. So It's kind of like, and I had friends, I had a whole crew. It's in my backyard. I was in Pittsburgh, North Americans. So I personally felt like I let them all down. They were totally okay with it. They support me no matter what. But it was more of like that fueled the more of a revenge aspect on me, that I felt that I was my best ever and I looked good. And the fact that I'd even go on stage and do my night routine, it was just bullshit to me. So
when you do show up at prejudging at this year's Nationals, and you're pretty dominant out there, obviously. I felt you had the win, but there were people that maybe thought maybe second place. How do you stay mentally strong for that whole day, from Friday to Saturday night, where you don't know what's going to happen? When they call out when they're calling out the final placings, second and first place, were you nervous?
At the end of the day, anybody that ever competes knows that one thing's for certain, that nothing is certain. So until you hear your number, you're never satisfied. I don't care if you have 2,000 people tell you won, you're never satisfied. But I feel like I had enough of a grasp through my coach and, people, even like yourself, through what you said to, tell me. I mean, at the end of the day, if I wasn't getting first, I was getting second. So, I mean, it would have been a plus. I would have got the pro card. But I didn't just want to like get second and win my pro card that way. I wanted to, win my class. I would say I was pretty confident, but what was more stressful was the fact that it was the then pressure for the overall. Because when I came off stage after the prejudging, everybody was like, I'll be honest, everybody was already celebrating because they put me right in front and center and they didn't move me. And so it was right after prejudging. As soon as I came off, I started hearing one after another, like, you got a shot at the overall. And it didn't really set in until maybe like, we went out to eat after and then it was like, well, shit, you got to get ready for the overall. And then to truly invest your mind in the fact that I have a chance of winning the overall at NPC Nationals into, like you figure after the prejudging's Friday and then you have an entire, almost 2 days to sit there with your water and your eating and be so meticulous and to really, really invest your mind. I mean, it's a lot. So it was nerve-wracking. I was confident with the class, but I mean, me and my coach, Mike Eli,
yeah.
I mean, he had me on point. Like, we stayed together for basically, the whole day. Every hour or two, he checked me. We posed throughout the day. Like, everything was down to a T. And, I mean, it made all the difference. It made a world of difference. And I just managed to continually get better and harder, even into the second show.
Yeah, it seems like in today's world, in that super heavyweight class, we see a lot of guys that have a lot of size, but no one's bringing conditioning, or at least not the majority of the class are not bringing conditioning. Why do you think it is that these guys show up and I mean, they couldn't win, the Mr. Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. And people show up out of shape, and then I see a guy like you who's, the way they're supposed to look, and it just, I scratch my head like I can't figure it out.
I think it's the delusional aspect. I think it's one. I think, as you know, bodybuilders are some of the most delusional people on the planet. And, I think it's like a lot of guys think that they're big, and a lot of guys can't handle the fact of losing that weight, of, coming down and to possibly being a heavyweight or, a smaller super heavyweight. Like it takes a toll, whenever you're 250, 260, and then it's like 230 or you're 270 and it's 240. Like, I just think that I think for one, it's the delusional aspect, and I think that a lot of guys, they live in small ponds and they don't know. And I think that number two, I think that they just, I just don't think that they know how to get in shape where they can really push themselves.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think there's a delusional aspect to that as well. But obviously, we know conditioning wins shows, and you were a testament to that at the Nationals because you not only did you bring the most size of anyone out there, but you also brought the best conditioning, and it's that combination that really clinched it for you. Now, you're a manager at Anytime Fitness in Pittsburgh. Working a full-time job like that, running a gym, even though it's a gym, it's still a full-time job. Does that make it hard for you to get in the workouts, eat your meals, and I mean, because most bodybuilders like to just lay on the couch all day and relax.
Yeah, I mean, and I do a lot of training on the side, like online training, and then so like I work probably 50 hours a week here, and then my weekends are usually designated to like all my online clients, and I have very little free time, to be honest with you. I don't usually get home and settled in until I'd say 10 or 11. But I mean, to be honest with you, in the same sense, I've been doing it already for so many years, and I've pretty much have always worked 2 jobs or worked weekends, so it's kind of just like second nature. And, and I was thinking about this recently. I almost feel that keeps me on track because, it's not like I get home every night at 6, 7 p.m. and I have like 3-4 hours to screw off. It's like everything is so tightly wound and tightly planned that, there's no room for error, and it keeps me on track. So, I think that it can be tough, but I also think you can use it for your advantage.
That's that Pittsburgh work ethic, I always say. You guys have a very good work ethic. Everyone seems to work there. No one. I never saw a lazy Pittsburgh bodybuilder.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with Mike Eli, your coach. How did that come about? Where did you guys meet?
Well, I actually used to Seth Ferosi helped me out whenever I first got started in bodybuilding, and him and Mike Eli and Seth were friends. And then I actually seen, just through social media, I would see like Mike And then I started kind of following Mike, and then I seen that, like his success with his clients, and I eventually split with Seth. And then so it was logically, like I seen Mike's success, I just reached out to him. He's somewhat local, he's in Cleveland. And, I reached out to him it was the year after I lost to Pittsburgh. Like, so many months later, and like as soon as I talked to him, Mike was just like, all right, well, let's win to Pittsburgh and let's get you on a national level. And that's what we did, and we were successful. But I mean, me and Mike have a great relationship. I mean, it's no bullshit. Like, we don't necessarily like talk to each other every single day. Like, we're very straight to the point. Right. We have the old school work ethic mindset. It's really a perfect fit.
Well, I want to congratulate you, Chris, on the big win, of course. Have you decided where you might, launch your pro career? What show?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm open for suggestions. Do you have a suggestion, Dave? What would you say?
I'd say New York Pro sounds like a great show.
I mean, do you think I should do it this year or wait a year?
I'd say get in there. Get your feet wet, man. Do that. I think. Look, back in the day, the Night of Champions, which became the New York Pro, was the show that every new guy did to try to make a name for himself. Why? Because New York is New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, the old saying. And I think it's a good show just to kind of like, look, you're not a guy that needs to gain 15 pounds of muscle. I mean, you need a couple tweaks here and there. You're a guy who can go in and make a dent right from day one, which is an advantage of the super heavyweight champion because you guys got the size already. So I'd love to see you go up there and see what you can mix it up with some of those guys up there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm actually supposed to go see Mike this weekend, and we're going to talk over and come up with a game plan. But, I'm totally open. I'll be honest with you. I've been following the sport for a long time, so I've seen how a lot of guys done it. And, I'm just, talk to Mike, and I'll see what we come up with and, go from there.
And just for anyone out there who's watching this, and you might own a nutrition company or a clothing company, Chris is available, and he's looking for supplement sponsorship. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, great new talent you could attach your brand to. How can people contact you if they would like to talk to you or hire you for your services?
You can check out my Instagram. My Instagram is my name, C_Didomenico. I have my email. You can contact me through there. That'd probably just be the best bet, or Facebook.
You having a big Italian Christmas dinner?
Oh, yeah, they already got it all planned out. It's pretty much the whole month.
I miss those big dinners, man. My grandmother was heavy duty for sure. But enjoy the holidays, Chris. Enjoy that victory and that new IFBB Pro card, and keep us updated what's going to be happening up for you next year.
Okay, Dave. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.